Oh, it's just me. Hi, welcome to Princess and Scoundrel After Dark. This is our live stream. I thought there was going to be two of us here, but let me introduce my guest. Okay, he doesn't speak, so I'll just do all the talking for this live stream.
No, it does. It's me.
It's you. How many of those helmets do we have?
I have a problem. I'm sorry. Welcome, everybody. Don't worry about that. Welcome, welcome.
To all the helmets we have. It's really tall. I feel like this one's bigger than some of the other ones that we have.
It is. Yeah, I put the batteries in there, and like, it's got like a semi voice changer.
It's
and
like
I thought
on a delay, though.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be kind of cute, but it was just like extremely loud.
I thought it was Tamora Morrison under there. Your hair, you gotta fluff your hair up a little bit. Sorry. There you go. Yeah, had you put it on before? Because we got it. It came in last week.
Yeah, I was playing with it before, not using the voice changer.
But yeah, we finally brought it upstairs. I'm like, where all the other helmets live.
Yeah, I need to do something with it. But welcome everybody, Nate, Galen, Ash. Haven't seen Ash in a while.
Nick, I know it's been a minute.
Watched 5 seasons of Clone Wars.
Oh, he watched one. Gave up on season 5.
Oh,
you went back. We should also head this off at the top. Like, no spoilers here.
Yes, no spoilers. We got to wait a little bit.
Don't share any spoilers for anything. We are very spoiler averse just in general. I feel like on our channel, on our Instagrams.
It doesn't matter if I hear them or see them. I don't get upset as much as others. But
like me.
Yeah. But it's one of those things that there's other people here that maybe haven't seen it. It's weird. It's weird that they release it on a Wednesday.
Oh, that's right. I know. I don't like.
I really think they need to go to like a Friday or Sunday model. Like that's kind of the old TGIF type of thing.
Right. Like prime time was like Thursdays at 7, and it would drop back in the olden days.
Yeah.
It being midnight. What is it? It's midnight Pacific time, so it's the middle of the night for all of us. And like we just happen to be fans with a lot of like diehard fans that cover it for their podcast or just or want to watch it really early. But like we have jobs, we have kids, so we were able to finish. We watched Bad Batch. We finished that, but we haven't watched Mando yet. So
let's see if they're lined up again, Ash.
Oh, we're like, can you see us even? Oh, you got to take him out completely.
No.
Or are you going to line him up?
I'm going to line him up to...
You got to turn him. There you go. It's going to happen. Oh. Turn him a little more. Oh, now it's weird. Now I don't know where we're going with it.
There. That's as good as it gets.
It's so weird looking. Look, it looks like we're holding hands.
His name is Han.
Yeah, Tuesday's big news days. Wednesdays are when they're releasing all of these. I used to love it in season 1 of Bad Batch. They would release it on Friday, and then we would wake up and we would make pancakes Saturday morning, and we would watch Bad Batch.
Yeah.
It was like this nice little tradition we had, but then we've had to not do that. We have to shuffle things around and like try to fit in all the new Star Wars on Wednesdays.
Like where we can.
Yeah.
Before bedtime and all that.
Yeah. Or we stay up late. It's tough.
Helmet's alive. But our last episode.
We filmed that so long ago too. It was a month ago, I think.
I think like full transparency is like an experience, right? So those that did catch it, it was a sponsored
It was. We had like, we've had a spawn. We have Roosevelt's as like kind of our big
carrying on
like
sponsor.
yeah, like a sponsor that just outfits us constantly. But yeah, this was like our first big deal that we got to do like a singular episode.
Yeah.
And it was really cool. That was an experience to go through.
Well, it's just like the whole like, you know, making the ad and doing that, like run through it and getting it approved. And
they have like certain parameters. We had to do like an entire it's a whole process that you have to go through. You have to sign up for this, you have to wait for this, then you have to go get this approved, and then you had to we had to have the entire video shot, recorded, and the ad spot shot and recorded. We had to couldn't have any IP stuff, so we had to completely
so
I don't know if you noticed that.
As our conversations are primarily around IP, we were like, okay, wipe everything.
Yeah, we had to take everything off of the top of our shelves. I did sneak it in though, because if you go back and watch the ad,
don't say.
It's not IP though; they're rocks.
Oh,
but the pictures that we have in the background are actually pictures of the landscape from Batu that I've taken. We have it up, and we should plug that too. I have an Etsy shop where you can buy that art, and I just kind of put it out there and let it live. But I really liked having those prints in the background. Something about it was like, oh, that's kind of nice.
Yeah.
So
it had a different feel to it.
Oh yeah, Ash did get an affiliate link set up with a lightsaber company.
Oh, nice.
I know.
So we're gonna start seeing some
saber videos. Oh yeah, Jacob went on Star Cruiser. Thank you, Jacob.
Oh yeah, the what else? So recently, the BD1 got released for Shop Disney, and wouldn't you know, it was this color scheme. Out of all the color schemes,
it's wild.
So
the one that they're selling doesn't seem to be life or
no.
to scale.
That one is significantly shorter.
Yeah.
So I would say it's probably.
Oh, he's a dusty boy. We haven't given him the love he deserves.
So yeah. So my little guy.
One thing I've noticed though is that people, when we first saw the pictures of him, it was like, oh, why did they weather the legs where it's painted black, and it didn't look like they weathered the yellow part. But now seeing it, now that people are buying it, it looks pretty good.
Yeah, the one thing, we got it coming in. Should be next week, huh?
No, I think Friday we get it.
So
Grant's here too. Everybody's here.
Where's this hair?
You don't want to see how that's made. No, there's no good dirt on the HelloFresh thing. There's just it's a process to go through, and so we went through it. We ordered the box, we made the food, and we've used, like I said in the ad spot, we've used HelloFresh for on and off over the years.
Yeah.
And it's been clutch. And it's super clutch right now because I went to go make dinner tonight and we had chicken and we didn't have no more vegetables. We had salad and stuff like that. And I was like, I don't know what to do. All the stuff we normally default to, we already have as leftovers in the fridge. And I was like, I got to cook this chicken. What do I do? It was good. Dinner was good.
Yeah.
But I'm excited for getting a box of new recipes on Friday so we don't have to run into that. That will be very nice. Ooh, I'm all over the place today.
Why they went with the... honestly, I don't know. It is... Because even that, it's a more deeper cut. Because I think that's one of the limited, harder skins to get.
Oh, really?
It's not or it's a pre-order skin. It wasn't the number 2 skin, number 3 skin. It was
Do you think maybe it's more prevalent in the new game?
I don't think so. I mean, as far as, and that's the thing with the game, you could change all these different colors and sabers and make it look different, but it doesn't necessarily mean that is the canon color. So I think that's the interesting is they didn't pick the canon color.
It's just so weird.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is that I posted a silly reel. I posted it everywhere, but on TikTok it took off. I think within a day or two it had 100,000 views, And so when it gets that many eyes on it, it's typically not the people that like
are normally looking at it.
Are normally looking at it, and so they don't know that you built this beanie, and that we even had like people vote on the colorway for you to paint it.
Yeah,
like, you didn't pick it.
I didn't
you were
pick the
just
color.
Like, here's
well,
4 options.
Maybe they used our color, like our selection.
Maybe.
They're like, okay, people like this color.
But so we have the yellow and black one. We posted this TikTok, and it got pretty big for us. And so then there's just people in the comments that are like, Disney ripped you off. Like, remember Tiki Man, and they stole your idea. And I'm like replying, I'm like, nah, dude, this is the skin in the game. Like,
this is not, I mean, other than the actual printing of it, it was not me.
And then there were people that are like, how much? Like, no. They're like,
That's
you're
like
going to get in trouble if you sell those. And then there's people that are like, how much?
Yeah.
It's like, no, like, this is a personal droid for a personal cosplay. The bot influencer.
Yeah, we got that one coming, and then I'm working, still printing the Rex. So
Oh, yeah. Didn't you show off Rex the last time we did the live stream?
Yeah, it's still kind of the same right now because like my focus has shifted to Star Cruiser. So
we'll get into that in a bit. Ash, I'm not calling you out specifically. There were multiple people that were asking how much for Steven to build a droid for them.
Well, it reminds, like, I know we talked about it, but at Celebration, there was a lady that was like, oh, I really like it. How much was it? And I was like, oh, I printed it and it took me this, whatever. And so it's about this much. She's like, well, can I buy it? And I was like, oh, no, this one's mine. She's like, how much? I was like, no, like, I want to keep this one. No, it's okay. How much? like no, I like it. I want to keep it.
But I think that's really cool because you do a really good job when you do these things. Like, you don't do anything halfway. So take it as the compliment it is that people are trying to literally buy the droid off your back.
It was.
Really was. Are you gonna bring a droid? You're not bringing a droid to Star Cruiser.
I was thinking, but probably not, because I was thinking about doing a BD, like maybe doing another one, recoloring or doing a different color. But because BD is now available, I don't want to take one and there's a ton of BDs.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense. $50 in belly button lint. It's priceless.
Go tree fitty.
About tree fitting.
Yeah, see, Doug, like, and at first it's kind of like, haha, like, that's funny. And then they press and you're kind of like, haha, it's like, funny.
It's getting awkward. Yeah. I want to leave now.
Oh, yeah, I'm getting called over here. My friend's calling me over here.
Yeah, Doug's the one with the droids that have like the arms and the legs. We saw him at Dapper Day.
Yeah.
Galen bought 2.
Yeah, see.
Grant is asking how we enjoyed Mando. We have not seen the latest episode.
Yeah, we haven't seen it yet, so don't.
No spoilers here. I tried to do my best to like stay away from the internet because as soon as I opened my Instagram and went to messages, because I had a bunch of messages, one of my friends had posted as their like away message thing that was like, please stop spoiling Mando. And I was like, oh no. I was like, okay, I'll try to stay off the internet, but it's hard. Hundreds of portions. Hollywood Studios tonight, and they're sold out of the BDs.
Oh,
you know
wow.
why? Well, our friends over at Crafted Cords were saying that
they didn't get it a lot.
No, that he said that he got one of the last ones.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think because MegaCon is this weekend in Orlando, so there's just a ton of people in Orlando right now. 1, because you've got spring break. 2, because MegaCon, and they're going and they're clearly fans of like these big fandoms like Star Wars.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. It would have been really nice to have picked BD up with an annual pass holder discount.
Yeah.
Sometimes they do it on Shop Disney, but they did not for this one. Oh, I bet it was madness.
But it's sometimes fun when like the cons, when it's around a con or something like that. There's a lot of people that are focused, you know, if it's like Star Wars, there's a lot of Star Wars people there. So
like when you do like the Star Wars nights, stuff like that. Yeah, that is pretty fun. Oh yeah, Disney didn't put a purchase limit. They've stopped putting purchase limits on things just
in general.
Broadly, yeah.
It's I don't know. Like,
kind of wish they would put them back.
Yes and no. I mean, you look at it from their end as a business, it gets sold.
Yeah.
Right?
I guess so.
And it's, you know, if they prevent you from buying it, but no one else buys it, then
yeah. Yeah. A
whereas,
droid sold is a droid sold.
Yeah.
That's a good point. But yeah, so we should talk a little bit.
I don't know yet, Grant.
I have no idea. I'm just going to show up and have a good time. I may not even go down a path. I may just like hang out the whole time, just walk around and be like, hey, what are you guys up to? Oh, really? The lightsaber tunic? I think they have pretty good availability on board the Star Cruiser, though, for the costumes still. I think they're still pretty well stocked. But yeah, that's a bummer. I should have done that. I should have done one of those costumes.
Oh, yeah, you could have. Could have, like, altered one.
Oh, well.
I might take those sleeves.
Not my sleeves.
No, from the tunic.
Okay. But yeah, we should talk a little bit about the episode because we recorded that well over a month ago. Our conversation with Adam and Jill. It was a long time ago. So we had this like week-long span where we had the HelloFresh ad that we had to do. We had to have that fully ready. We had to have the next episode ready to go. I think we did a live.
Not yet, Kurt.
We'll get to that. We had a live that we had to do. So we had recorded, I think, 2 episodes and that live all in the same week, knowing that we were going to be dropping the episode like right after we got back from the Disney trip, like the day after we got back from our Disney trip.
Yeah.
So it feels like we talked to them ages ago.
Yeah. Well, and it was like, we're probably still closer to when we talked to them from when they went on their trip.
Yeah.
Because they had gone before, like earlier in the year.
Yeah, they went at the end of January.
So
it was very quick. Like, I think Adam had texted me and was like, hey, you got time to help us plan a Disney trip? And I was like, yeah, man, of course. Like, just hit me up. And he's like, cool, can you FaceTime tonight? And I was like, yeah, I can. And they're like, cool, we're going to go in like, it was like 2 or 3 weeks later. It was very quick. Very, very quick. We had to cut a lot of stuff from that video. We got like way off
I think
course.
I think that's what happens. And it's one of those things that it's good conversation, but if it's not like Disney or Star Wars or like, does it fit into it? And that's almost like it's an uncut, like we'll probably eventually one day have like just uncut versions of the conversations, because sometimes it's just like us rambling on like, oh wait, what were we talking about? Let's go back.
Yeah, let's steer this back. No, it was fun though, because it was just like hanging out with friends and just talking about Disney. Oh yes, no, Grant has strep throat.
Eesh.
Feel better.
In the Obi-Wan show, does his encounter with Vader diminish or negate their dialogue in A New Hope? That indicates they haven't met since Mustafar.
Whisper, you're coming in heavy.
I think it. Let me see. We'll keep reading out while I'm thinking about that.
Okay. Yeah. Julie mentioned BB-8 having to beep some of. There was a couple. We let a couple of things slide, and then there were a couple who were like, "Okay, that's the line. We'll beep these out."
We try to keep it the PG-13 rating,
especially because it was sponsored too. We're like, we gotta tame that down a little bit. I don't know that we actually have like kids watch our show. I don't know that kids want to get into like the business and the analytics of why Disney does some of the things that they do.
Yeah,
I don't think that's very like exciting for the younger audience. But maybe we've got the next Bob Iger out there watching us. And like, these people don't know what they're talking about. I know how to run one of these companies.
But let me get my thought collected. I was just like, in Obi-Wan, it was that I don't think it diminished, or it didn't diminish A New Hope, that like meeting up again. But at the same time, the meeting in New Hope, there wasn't that meeting of, oh, they really knew each other.
Yeah.
Like when we first saw it, you just like, oh, they knew them. They knew each other. But there wasn't that like, oh my gosh, this is like Obi-Wan and Anakin meeting each other again. It was just like Darth Vader and Obi-Wan, this old guy. So it was like, it wasn't a monumentous moment. In Obi-Wan, it was Obi-Wan like apologizing for what, how he failed him and stuff like. So it was like a very, very big impactful moment. But I think because of the prequels and Obi-Wan, the New Hope meeting again was more impactful. So like after the prequels, before Obi-Wan, it maybe diminished it.
Yeah.
But in the order that we got it, it's just building up more. We're like, okay, then we thought it was goodbye right there, but not.
Well, yeah. This is Star Wars discussion show. You saw a TikTok recently and you sent it to me, and like I think about it constantly. It was like, the interesting thing about Star Wars is if you have a problem with Star Wars, the solution is usually just more Star Wars. And like,
yeah,
that's completely the case. It's 100% the case, especially with like, and not to go into like spoiler territory, but somehow Palpatine returned. People took issue with that, and you know what? We're getting answers.
We're getting every kind of story that's going to be around that.
Be sick of learning. The somehow will not be a mystery anymore.
No. Oh, I mean, and then again, I don't want spoilers, but just like last week's episode of Mando was.
I think we could talk about that. That's like a week.
Okay,
we've got a full week.
Okay.
I think we're good there. It was very
from a certain point of view, Julie.
It was very. That's one that I'm really upset that I was spoiled for. I feel like I didn't get to have a genuine reaction to it because as Grogu is in the elevator, I already know what's going to happen. And so I couldn't genuinely react like, oh my God, it's Ahmed Best.
I knew it. Again, I was spoiled, but I knew it. And like truly and honestly, there was like a wave of emotion that hit me. And I am on the camp of this is not redemption. This is not it is for that fandom that pushed him to a point of like to that point that it shouldn't have got there. And now you're eating. And again, this is like for all those people that, somehow Palpatine is like, no, you have a problem with it. The people creating these stories are going to say, you're going to love what they made, Yeah. Because there was a time people couldn't, stand it. It was like the worst thing ever. Now it's all, and there's a part of me that's kind of like angry that it's like, it was just that people like hated it so much. And then now almost feels like people like, I loved it. I loved Jar Jar from the beginning.
Well, it's kind of like a little bit like Hayden Christensen too. And he got major redemption in Obi-Wan.
Well, again, it's not redemption. I don't want to say it's redemption. It's just he got the ovation that he should have gotten initially.
Yeah.
You didn't appreciate it when we had him. And I think that's the thing is like we didn't appreciate it when we had it. And I think that's one of the things we had to stop and look at of like critiquing to the point of hating this thing that you like that, you're being Lenny, you're squeezing it too tight and you're going to kill it. Right.
Yeah.
But I loved it. I'm so happy. I'm so happy that it happened. I'm excited for this week's episode. And
when it clicked for me, I think it was something you said, because, you know, they said, get him to Kelleran. And then you see him, and I was like, oh man, that's so cool. It hadn't clicked to me that Kelleran Beck was the Jedi from the Jedi Temple series. And when you said it something later that was like, it was his life's work to protect the Padawans, I was like, oh my God. Like, just, it's just like a punch in the chest. It was just like, look at that. Like, they planted those seeds years ago. Because that show came out, what, in 2020,
I don't think,
2021?
but those weren't intentional seeds planted. It was them saying, oh, you know what? You know, here he was playing this character. Let's use it. Let's go with it. And made it a character that you're like, oh my gosh, like, look at this badass.
Yeah, but I mean, still, the fact that they made that canon was just like,
that's cool.
It worked out so well. Oh, we missed a lot.
Yes, Danny.
My bad. Oh, we missed a whole bunch.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ahmad Best didn't need redemption. He didn't do anything. He didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah. That's where I'm my camp is I'm he didn't do anything. It's not redemption. This is just us finally realizing what we have.
Yeah.
So
that's a good way to put it.
To be fair, acting only in front of a green screen. I think at the time, and I think that's it was just of the times. You know, everything back then was green screen. We could say that of now, you know, with the superhero movies, there was a lot of, you know, CG that was really good, and then it wasn't too good. So, have
you seen the TikToks of like the Avengers running on treadmills? Have you seen that?
No.
I think it was for like is Endgame the last one? I think it was Endgame when they're like running.
Oh,
there's
all
a
of
squad
them.
of like 6 of them, and they're all on like walking pads, and it shows like from the top up, it shows the CG and everything.
Yep, Bespin.
From the bottom down, it shows the green screen with them running on the treadmills. I was just like, that's so weird.
That would be cool, Nate. Just to like really just, you know, put that nail in that coffin.
Oh man. Jake Lloyd.
Yep, I think I saw something where it was like that he's the last one now that needs a pinnacle point in this in Star Wars where we're just kind of like, you know.
Yeah.
The fandom would just stop. Let these stories be. Enjoy them. If you don't like it, okay, that's fine. Move to the next thing.
Yeah, go to the next thing. There's other fandoms you can be a part of. Yeah. Did tooth them. Yeah, let it cook. Let it marinate a little bit. I think that's a really good way to put it, is that if you're not happy with something, just wait.
Yeah, just wait.
If you wait long enough, then things will get explained. You'll be like, okay, I'm on board with it now. Yeah. That's all right.
I mean, and
I have issue with some Star Wars things, for sure. There's movies that if I have the choice, I'm not going to watch that over something else, but I'm still not mad at any pieces of it. Yeah, well, what happened with Cara Dune or Gina is like very different, right? Because she did something outside of, like, her as a person did something to affect her character in Star Wars, versus Ahmed Best, who just, people didn't like his character that he was playing.
Yeah.
So it had nothing to do with Ahmed Best as a person, and everything to do with the character he played. And so now he has the opportunity to play another character. Just imagine if like Jar Jar comes back, and then you've got Kelleran Beck, and it's just like the Ahmed Best show.
That would be fun. So was Dooku's death during the battle over Coruscant an opportunistic one for Sidious, or an eventful part of his plan?
Eventual.
Let me see. I don't think it was eventual. I think it was basically Sidious finding his successor, or not his successor, but his number 2, and it was like, okay, you're your week, next one, your
Yeah.
week, your next, the next, like that's the way they thought, the Sith is just like, it's kill or be killed. So
It's cutthroat, man.
That's what I think.
Here. Hey, Justin. Man, having Justin in here, I'm just like, oh, celebrations next week.
I know. That's why I wore my my last year's. So I'm gonna have to hit up Justin or somebody to see if there's like a
like
new
are you gonna
celebration.
ask for like a personal shopper for. I think Justin's gonna be a little busy. He's kind of a big deal.
Just take a break. Go give me a Spirit
Go
jersey.
shopping, please. Darth Jar Jar.
Oh, I mean, I think he will. I think he if he really wants to, he'd find a way, right?
Oof, Adam says he wasn't a big fan of Mandalorian at first. Ash didn't like Andor to start. Andor, it's not one of my favorites because it didn't feel inherently Star Wars.
Yeah.
Whereas I felt
It's
like
good story. Good story, but
feels
it's
Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's a really good story. I mean, we're planning a whole one way out event around it. Somebody in our group for the May 3rd Star Cruiser voyage posted, I didn't show you the picture. They're like Crocs, but without the holes in them. They're like the restaurant
Oh yeah.
Crocs, but they got them at Five Below, and they're just white. And then they taped off like just little orange stripes on the top of them, so it kind of matches the stripes going down the arm.
That's a pretty good idea.
My feet are not touching that floor with all y'all's other bare feet. It's just, there's a reason I ponied up for TSA pre-check, and that's why I don't have to have bare feet in a public place.
Yeah, I mean, Ash, like we're talking about Dooku. And I think that's the thing is, it wasn't a like, oh, this is part of my like. He's gonna just kill, get the next best person.
Yeah.
So,
Nate, do you smell what Favre Filoni you're cooking? I don't know. Wait, now I don't know if you meant that as like The Rock reference. That's what I took that as.
I am anxiously awaiting the news from Celebration.
Oh, like
what's gonna come?
or
Yeah,
whatever. Pre-check is the best lightning lane. The first time after we got pre-check for the first time and we used it, like I turned to Steven afterwards because like we have a stroller, we've got 2 kids, like we've got a bunch of stuff that we have to break down, and when they're yelling at you first thing in the morning because we usually take an early flight, you're just like, I'm sorry, this is way more stressful than it needs to be. And we went through pre-check, didn't have to take our shoes off, didn't have to really do much of anything.
it's good.
I was like, Steven, this is the best ride we're going to have this trip. Like, I don't care what happens at Disney. This was the best ride we had. The shortest line. This was amazing. But we had a TSA guy yelling at us this last time, too. There was nobody there. There was nobody in line. And he was like, good morning, people. Take your stuff out of your bags. Take your shoes off. We're just like...
Well, I think it's funny when you have like 3 or 4 of the agents talking to you. So one of them's telling you to put everything in your bag, don't take anything out. The other one's telling you take out the electronics. The other one's telling you put your shoes on, walk through they're giving you 20 different instructions at one time. So it's like, you're going to get frazzled.
You are.
So
I think they do it that way on purpose. Maybe they do. Maybe they try to
Just
stress
like
you
a-
out on purpose so that way they can like see which of you is like not handling it well, or maybe you're
Like,
too cool about it.
yeah.
And they're like, that guy's way too calm right now. Pull him. First class ticket, Galen. I want one of those. Oh, nice. Bestman Bespoke's going to be on Batu for May the 4th. You're going to do Narkina Prisoners. So we have 2 suits. So Justin's in here. He got us linked up with somebody who's making like screen accurate suits. And I think they're shipping soon. I think maybe we'll have them. I don't know. I never got an email.
Yeah.
But I know Justin was helping coordinate some of that too. So it'll happen. I'm sure of it. But we also ordered back in like January these ones from Alibaba for like $30 each. Took probably 5-6 weeks to come in.
they're pretty good.
They're not bad at all.
They're pretty good. So if you won't be able, I don't think you'll be able to get it by the
Probably
May.
not, but I think that you can buy them on Amazon too.
But they're good. Like was it WonderCon? that they
No,
had
it
they
was,
had a running, or they had a.
No, it was WonderCon last weekend. They did one.
So it's like if you want to be a part of that, like it's an easy costume.
It's super easy.
Super easy. So
But yeah, the Alibaba ones were good. I'm excited to get these other one too. And apparently they come with like stickers you stick on the bottom of your feet if you don't want to be barefoot. Oh, maybe that's fine. I mean, we'll see you at Star Cruiser anyway, so I'm not worried. But yeah, that's going to be fun. That's going to be really fun. I need to go set up the official event in our Facebook group, but we're going to do that night too on Star Cruiser. So one outfit, check.
yeah.
The rest of the outfits. Do you want to talk about that now?
I mean, I'm working on mine, so
I'm not. I had a little bit of
it was a little bit of like a freak out, and I think you're back on track, so
I'm okay now. Here's what was frustrating about it is you like to tease me and I'm like, I spent so much time looking at this stuff. I'm like, I spent so much time researching boots. And you're like, well, like how much time? I'm like, it's like 15, 20 minutes.
he's like, you spent all day.
So now the joke is like, I've spent all day doing this, but I don't have that much time. Like, I really don't have a lot of time to like dedicate to this. And so you kind of redirected me maybe about a month or a month and a half ago. And you were like, hey man, I know you really want to make this stuff. And I know you've been like pinning all these really cool things and you've been trying to learn all these new sewing techniques, but like, it's not in the cards. Like, you're a busy person. You're not going to have time to make all the things that you want to make. Like, just do what you normally do. Buy some pieces, modify them, add to them, accessorize. And I was like, it was just like a huge weight. I was like, I can do that. That's absolutely the right move, because every time I think, okay, I just need to knock out this travel, like my travel list of things to do, then I'll have time to go make these costumes and do all these things. Boom, Star Cruiser drops a discount or something happens, and it's just like, no, my list is twice as long as it was before. I was like, oh, I just have a couple more things. So I have now moved to the route of...
That's great, Julie. They ordered it last week.
Oh, nice.
April 14th.
Oh, that's
investment, yes. I actually used the template as well, or used it as a template for one of my shirts because I like the square collar. So
yeah, oh,
you could see it
here too. But yeah, so I have moved on to just buying individual pieces.
Julie, she's gonna steal some guard shoes, the big old the ski boots.
But I modified them, or I'm ordering things so I can modify them. But here's where my issue is, and here's where my meltdown happened earlier this week, is that I had purchased stuff back before our trip. So I purchased things like 3 weeks ago on Shein and these like fast fashion things. So I was able to get a whole bunch of jumpsuits and things that I was wanting for really cheap. And I'm like, okay, these are perfect. I spent all day researching them. And by all day, I mean, I literally like over the course of like 2 weeks, I was looking for just the right look and feel. And I was like, these are the ones. I know it. I've read all of the reviews. I know what sizes to buy. And I think I had 4 pieces come in, and they came in on Monday, and I tried them on, and they were all so terrible, and none of them fit.
I think that's the problem with those, like the fast fashion type of things. Like, it's not going to fit you like the best.
Yeah.
So.
And I knew that some of them were going to have to be modified. So I bought them bigger intentionally to be able to modify them. But I think I'm also just like shaped different than I'm built different. So just like none of them were good. And so I was thrilled. I was like, everything's getting delivered on Monday. It's going to be great. I'm going to have a little fashion show. I'm going to try it all on. And I tried everything on, and I didn't even take pictures of it because it was all so bad. And I was like, I've got nothing. I have absolutely nothing. And as Julie reminded me earlier today, it is 5 weeks from today that we are going on this voyage. And I was like, ah. So I spent all day after my debacle, my try-on debacle, looking at stuff on Amazon. And it came in today. Like a good chunk of my stuff came in today. I still don't have shoes. My boots aren't in yet. And I'm worried that it's going to get canceled. The order's going to get canceled. But the stuff that I got in today, I think is going to work. So what did we miss?
So Julie scored some cool boots. I made the
Nice.
buy and got my
Whoa.
got the Skechers Mando boots. It's because I'm stretching them out. Like I'm wearing them in, so that way they're a little weathered, but then they're also comfortable for. But yeah, I ended up, getting the Skechers Mando boots. So
They look really,
Yeah,
really
I
good.
like 'em.
You've been on the fence for that one for a little while. They look really good. I know you got a little show. This should have been like
same here. But it really like having some kind of belt just like almost brings it all together.
It really does.
So
Cruiser crunch time, dude. Big time. Oh, the boots. Do you want to take it off or do you want to just put your foot back up on the table?
Yeah, I'll take it off. So they're here, I'll put it to you so it's a little bit closer.
Put it in front of my face while I drink my water.
They're the Skechers Orson Blaine, I think they are. But it's nice.
We can link it.
Yeah, I'll put the link in there. But it's nice because it doesn't have any
Like
laces.
I'm just laughing because of your bright orange Dr. Scholl's insoles in there.
Well, you don't need the insole, but I like them. So.
Well, as one of my friends from high school posted in her Instagram stories the other day, we're middle-aged now. I was like, well, that's rude. I was like, I don't think I'm middle-aged.
But I definitely need to do I think it's a splat. That's what it is.
It's not it's a spat.
Spat.
Not
Okay.
A splat.
Yeah,
we call it something else.
Yeah.
So remembering the actual word for it is.
Let's make some of those for them.
So I pulled out our son random. Why was it? Oh, I was trying on costume pieces that I got today, and I grabbed the belt, the Mando belt that I made for him for his Mando costume. Because initially I had made it out of like cheap, not even pleather. I think it was vinyl. When I very first made it, which was a year and a half ago, maybe. I think it was about a year and a half ago. I think it was right when Star Cruiser first dropped. But anyway, I made it out of vinyl and it was literally like flaking apart and gross.
Oh, the first one.
First one. So I made the whole costume. Like I made the flight suit, you printed the armor, you printed a helmet, everything. It was awesome. And then when we got into leatherworking, I was like, this is an easy, quick project for me. This could be a great first project. And I remade the belts and the bandolier for a local convention we did last summer. And so that's just like an easy belt that we have in like our cosplay bins that's available. And so I like strapped it around myself and it was like super tight. But I was trying it on with an outfit and our son was like, hey, where's my Mando costume? I was like, I don't know, dude. We tried looking for it recently, couldn't find it. And he was like, oh, it's over here in this room.
Yeah.
And he pulled the whole thing out, put it on.
Wearing it around.
Yeah, I took little pictures of him.
Yeah.
Right? I took offense. I
Middle
told him
age.
too.
Yeah,
I was
like Ren Fair.
I take offense to being called middle-aged.
Oh, Grant, you're going to have fun.
It's going to be a lot of fun. You know what? That's the thing
Exactly,
is like we're
Beth.
stressing so much about costumes right now. And I was talking about it to Dano earlier too. He's like, I'm just going to wear t-shirts and shorts. And like, that's fine. Like if that's what you want to do,
I
that's
think the
fine.
thing, yeah, I think, and that I think that was my whole thing with trying to tell you to like, relax. I was telling you to relax without telling you to relax. But it was just one of those things. It was just like, it's not that big of a deal. Like it's going to be fine. And we just like go and enjoy yourself.
I know. But the thing is like, it's fun. It's fun to dress up. It's like Halloween. It's like, it literally feels like Halloween when you're a kid and you're like, oh my God, I'm going to be this person, but I get multiple outfits and it's this very specific day and you just like look forward to it.
Bathrobes all day.
I mean,
they have the CSL ones
just
in the room.
Just walk around in a robe. Be like, hey guys, I own the place now.
You could be like a Narkina like hue. You have the Narkina under, and just like have some slippers,
Man,
like a smoking jacket.
I should have done that. That would have been way easier. Oh, my Wraith inspired costume. You know what?
What's
I
up,
might
Paul?
be bringing Wraith back out shortly. We'll see. I'm working on something. I want to bring Wraith out again, and Wraitha may make an appearance at some point in May. Right? We should just show up in the bathrobes. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
What would they do? Has anybody just walked around the Star Cruiser? I mean, obviously with clothes underneath, but like just in the bathrobe. Like, hey man, what's up? The boots with the shorts. Paul's here too. Oh yeah, Paul's working MegaCon, right? Like you're like a tattoo artist, like one of the like legit tattoo artists at MegaCon.
That's cool.
That's so cool. We've got such cool friends.
I know.
Look at all of our friends doing all these really cool things. I wish we could have gone to MegaCon
Oh yeah, would have been nice.
or Celebration. That's
Yeah.
okay. That's all right. We'll get there. We'll be there next year.
But so we talked about last episode.
Yes.
I mean, we wrote Tron. Like that's kind of like
Way to segue. We did. And if you look at the thumbnail, we wrote it together.
not true.
Not true at all. We did not write it together. But you did a really good Photoshop on the thumbnail.
No, thank you.
This podcast. We were very fortunate in that we were able to do the lightning lane or the
You
individual
going, Danny?
lightning lane where we purchased it, and then we also got in on the virtual queue.
Yeah. Well, so that one, again, it's so funny to me that, again, the way they open up the rides, the soft opening, and, you know,
I'm kind
APs
of annoyed by the whole soft opening thing, honestly.
it's just like, open it up. Just like if you have like a day where it's like the cast members and, you know, let them go first and get their chance. And then after that, just start opening it up.
And I don't know that they've ever done a soft opening like that before. Like maybe they'll do it like a day before, but this is like a solid 2 weeks before opening.
I think the one thing that I was disappointed is we didn't get to see Mickey and Minnie, Goofy and Donald in their Tron outfits.
Yeah. So if you watch like Peter and Kitcher's video on Tron,
that was so cool.
They got to go to this whole event, and it was at night, and they were all wearing like these light up Tron outfits. It was so cool. They're not going to have them in the park like that. I know. Ooh. Jason's been influenced. Speaking of Wraiths, did you guys have a good picture of his tattoo? What job Dano did on me, because he got lazy and he stopped, and I was like, can you go higher, please? And he's like, yeah. And he went like a tiny bit higher, because essentially what happens, and
Yes, Danny. Like when I saw that, I was like, oh, that's so cool.
And it's a speaker. But Bespin, basically you don't ever see the top, like the top of Wraith's is a little behind the scenes, but the top of Wraith's tattoo doesn't exist because it just like the lines go up and it's hidden by his sleeve. The problem is that Wraith's sleeve goes to his elbow and my sleeves were like up here. And so I was like, Dano, draw the lines all the way up. And he was like, Sarah, the lines are going to be a foot long. And I was like, I don't care, draw them higher. And he just got sick of it. And honestly, like trying to do the whole tattoo thing, like the tattoo pin was just a pain. And so we were like, all right, fine. So that's why you could see it just like hard stopped halfway up my arm. I was like, this is ridiculous.
You should have put just like circles at the top of it.
That's what it was a whole thing. I got what I got.
So at least it looked like it was a complete thing.
In the words of our daughter, you get what you get and you don't throw a fit. But yeah, but that tattoo, the temporary tattoo pens were pretty good. They were pretty good. Let me see. I gotta catch up. Yeah, that backpack looks really neat. And then the fact that they have for Tron that you can do the figure and you can put your face in there and you can put your voice in it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean,
so it's kind of similar to what they have over in Pandora, where you can build your own avatar and it looks like you as an avatar. When we went, there were people buying it.
Yeah.
And there was a good amount of people buying it still.
Oh
My God.
It was like a beautiful moment.
You're gonna make me cry. I can tell the story though.
It was so cool because like this girl, she was getting, I guess her parents were getting her avatar, but she was deaf, and so I think
there's like a show element to it.
Yeah, so like they did like a scan right before they get it, and you had to press a button, but then they had like dad recording it and signing. And, you know, it was just like a beautiful moment because she's like getting excited for it and it was, you know, getting it and whatnot.
It was amazing. So. It was just a very sweet, like, we got to stumble upon this little, it wasn't even like a magical moment. It was just like a really beautiful
That's what I say, Doug. It's like you kind of like far away, squint your eyes. That looks like you.
Kind of like Hasbro where it scans your face.
That was a little bit better, but yeah, it's still the same.
Kind of, because like I saw yours, I saw Justin's, and I saw Dano's.
They all look about the same.
You guys all look like you could be brothers. But yeah, just the Tron ride in general, I really loved it. Like I thought it was a lot of fun.
It was okay for me. Like it wasn't something where I'm like, I got to do it again.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I feel like conditions were perfect. So
I mean, we absolutely. If I would have had to like do a standby line of it, I probably would have hated it.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so
that's what I would say that like it is not my favorite ride, and it's probably. I mean, it's not gonna be like that's what I need for. Like, I'd rather spend my Lightning Lane monies on something else.
See, I really, really liked it. So here's the thing. So initially we were going to try to get in on the pass holder previews, but those ended like a couple days before our trip started.
Yeah.
And then there was a DVC party that was going to take place in the middle of our trip, but they sold out before I could get tickets for it. So we couldn't do that. And then when was it? So then they had the media event while we were on the trip. And that's where we ended up seeing all of our friends there. And they were telling us about like Mickey and Minnie and their outfits and all these things. But that was kind of it. And then 2 or 3 days before the soft open, they announced it. And so we switched our park pass reservations and we woke up and we're like, we're going to do both of them. And we were flying out that night. And so we're like, we've got to get in early.
Well, and I think that's how we got it. I think the system wasn't working correctly, but you were trying for paid
purchased,
and then I was trying for virtual. So it was just like we ended up getting both.
Yeah. So it worked out. The thing that stinks is like because we had to fly out that night, we had to ride it during the day, so we didn't get to see the canopy like lit up and really cool. I think that would be a lot more fun. But I really enjoyed the ride. And the other thing is we didn't have to wait.
Yeah,
like, there was nobody there. When we got there, there was no lines for anything.
Well, because again, it was like they had it like an event, so they didn't let everybody swarm it. So it was kind of like free.
Yeah. Tim asked about the bar that goes on your like behind your knee. I never felt mine.
Yeah, I
must have.
For me, honestly, the way you sit on it is a bit odd.
It feels. Yeah,
because it's kind of like a motorcycle tank, but it almost like sticks into your stomach more. Like it's like a bigger tank, and then you're like, you know, it's like a speed bike.
And you have to like
rest on
slouch over it more. It's not like Flight of Passage where you're a little more like you're leaned forward, but you're still up. This one you kind of had to like
you have to rest on it.
You have to lay more flat. It was weird. Like when you get in and you have to like position your hips in a weird way. And I was just like, I
like the positioning of it. I like being able to like sit. It feels like you can sit up more. But again, just like the way it's positioned, it's almost tilted more like forward. Like it's like a motorcycle, but it on your body. I don't know how to like explain it better.
But that said, I thought that was a really cool position to ride a roller coaster.
Yeah, because you're like fully forward.
Because it's like going down a slide head first. Like you don't get to see what's coming up because we rode front row each time.
Yeah.
Because literally there was nobody there.
Yeah.
Like one of the times that you rode it,
it was like us, like me, our son, and then another mom and daughter.
Yeah, and that was it.
Yeah.
It was
so
crazy. Yeah, it
is, Peter. It's like flight is kind of high, and kind of Harley like, because Harley you're sitting back, right? They're more, you know,
I have no idea. I'll listen
like
to
more
you.
Relaxed.
Okay.
But you know, it's up there.
Oh, okay.
But or I think flight feels more like a normal motorcycle, like a speed bike. Tron felt like you were even, you know, even further forward. Yeah.
It was strange. TJ asked, do you think it would make somebody sick? I don't think so at all.
Nah.
It's not long enough for you to get sick. But I didn't think it was as short. Like people say it's like something like 40 something seconds start to finish.
It was, I don't know. I don't know if it felt shorter because, I mean, the ride's quick.
It's
like
a fast ride. But to me, I feel like Guardians of the Galaxy is almost too long. If that ride were any longer, I would not be able to ride it because it would make me sick.
I mean, I think you get the bang, you know, with Guardians, you get bang for your buck. Like, okay, if you're waiting,
like a really good pre-show.
That's the thing. Is like with Guardians, it's not necessarily just the ride. There's like the queue is awesome. The pre-show, you know, going in there, riding it. And then the getting the potential different songs. So there's like repeatability about it.
Finally got a good song.
But so there's that for Guardians. Tron, love the soundtrack. I'm a big Daft Punk fan. Like I love it over there. But the thing is once they open it up, that area is kind of open, right? So you could just kind of like enjoy the vibes there.
Man, and that's where you're gonna find me. Like, if I'm in Magic Kingdom, you're gonna find me in Tron. The area is cool,
but it's not the ride. It's just the area.
You had a good unintentional pun when you were talking about Guardians of the Galaxy. You said "big bang for your buck." But yeah, the
we
vibes.
saw him, or we didn't see him, Danny. I've seen it online, but we didn't actually get to see it.
What was it?
The power line.
Oh, the power lime. Lime. Yeah, it was. I think it got there while we were there towards the end of our trip.
Yeah.
Where do you think is a good place to buy Star Wars gear? We wish we knew. It would make things a lot easier. No, there's a ton of places that you can buy them. You can buy from places like Amazon, Alibaba, the fast fashion places, and kind of cobble your own things together. Or if you want costumes that are already made, you've got like Gaber Crate is a really good.
Yeah.
Like she makes incredible stuff. Guardians.
Tim, and I think that's why they won random access. Like Tron was to get them to random access.
Did they win a Grammy or what?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Demo Baza is TJ's favorite. Denuo Novo is another one. There's plenty of places you can go out there. You guys know better than I do off the top of my head. Guardians, I have learned where I need to sit to not get as sick on Guardians. Because I get motion sick in Guardians. I don't like where like the rides where it makes you feel like you're moving, but you're not actually moving. Like Star Tours, I can't ride Star Tours. It makes me sick.
I think, well, like Star Tours for me, I'll get the nauseousness if I'm in the front. Mm-hmm. If I'm in the back, like I'm good. Better. So I think that's usually most of the rides. Like if I sit too far front, and if it's like, especially things that you're looking, because I think the last time I rode Guardians was in the front, and it's more on me because I'm trying to like look at things.
Yeah.
So I'm being jostled around, and then I'm looking around at other things, and I'm like, okay, my equilibrium and my focus is not on the same thing. Whereas like when you're in the end, you know where everything is, so you prepare yourself or whatever.
Prepare, and that's what like I sit in the last car on Guardians, and actually I don't know if Justin's still in here, but Justin's wife Naomi is the one that like clued us in, like sit row 9 on Guardians. It's the best, and there's a whole reason why it's the best, not just because you don't get sick. Right, Star Tours in Paris is the only one I'll ride because of French Yoda. I'll ride that one every time for French Yoda. That was so bizarre. But yeah, I don't get sick to the point where I throw up. I don't think I've ever gotten sick to the point where I've thrown up, except for like the very first time I rode a roller coaster when I was like 6 years old. But I'll get like nauseous. I hope you get French Yoda. I don't know if
they don't do it all the time. They'll do,
really?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's only sometimes.
Try it over and over until you get them.
So, but then so is everybody that's going over there.
French Yoda. It's one of my core memories of Disneyland Paris. Yeah, but no, Tron was a lot of fun. The food there was surprisingly pretty good.
Over at
interesting at the Energy Bites.
I think it's pretty good. That as far as like a
watermelon refresher.
Oh. That and then those little
the dumplings.
The dumplings.
No,
both I prefer the
beef and broccoli.
The
dumplings.
beef one, yeah.
Those were good. They were salty. There's like a lot of like soy sauce in it. Yeah. And then the buffalo chicken ones were weird because they had like a tomato sauce with it. So it's kind of strange. It's like they're like tiny little meatballs wrapped in like a dumpling wrapper, or like sitting inside a dumpling wrapper. It's almost like a little meatball cupcake, if you will. It's the best way to describe it. But yeah, everything there was good. Like we were like, we'll take one of everything.
Yeah.
Not to be like, oh, we want to test out the whole menu, because we don't cover that type of stuff. But it was like, everything looks good. We're hungry. It's lunchtime. Like, let's just try all of it.
Yeah.
We can. And it was the first day it was open.
Yeah.
So that was fun.
Mission Space. Yeah, that one's I think that was one that I did once and I'm like, I'm okay.
Yeah.
I think that one's more the tightness of it for me.
It's tight, and then the screen is like right here in front of your face the entire time. What's your opinion on how hot the buffalo was? It was not hot. I don't recall it being very hot at all. Was it?
Nah.
Because it was like more of a tomato sauce.
I'm trying to think. Like it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't something where I was like, "Ooh, this has got a nice little bite."
Yeah, like we could have fed that to the kids.
Yeah.
What else?
Tower of Terror.
Tower of Terror is my favorite ride. I don't know why. It truly is a Tower of Terror for me. Like, it terrifies me. So that's
awesome, Grant. Like being the pilot.
That's cool. The Tower of Terror. So the very first time, I thought it was like just a straight up elevator and like you weren't strapped in. I was like, how are they allowed to get away with that? Like, I knew nothing about the ride. And when we went to Disney for the first time and we did what was that called? Galactic Nights. We did the Star Wars party. So there was like no ride, like no lines for anything. And so we had our son with us, who was 2 at the time. And we're like, there's no line for it. We should go ride it. But we had to do the rider swap. And so I think you went and did it first. And I was like, I'm like a big chicken when it comes to riding, like rides like that, especially for the first time. I had no idea what to expect. You go and you ride it and you're like, oh, that's fun. Yep, that's fun. Go do it. And so then I go do it and I was terrified. And I think they put me in the front row and I was just like, I just like cackled the whole time, like screamed the whole time. And I was like, this is it. This is my ride from now on. But we never ride it. We never get to ride Tower of Terror.
That's awesome.
No, Tower of Terror. We gotta try to ride it on this trip.
Yeah.
It's been a while. It's been a minute.
Mm-hmm.
I think the last one I rode was the Guardians one in Disneyland.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was with like this trip. We didn't really try a lot of rides. I think we were gonna talk about it.
We'll talk about it on our next episode. But it was just such a nice, like, it was a nice long vacation.
Yeah,
lovely. The weather was nice, surprisingly too. Group ride.
Fill it all up.
Oh, And we're all wearing our Kina 5 jumpsuits.
That'd be good for the breakout one.
Oh my gosh, for Mission Breakout.
Mission breakout.
We're all in prisoner costumes. All right, so I think we should probably start talking about Star Cruiser.
Yeah, the news.
The news. So there's been 2 newses since we last had a live and really talked about this stuff. So last time we did a live, we ended up going a day early because that was the day that, was it October through December had opened up? I think so. It was about a month ago. October through December had opened up. They changed the policies to where it was from 90 days final payment to 30 days final payment. Like they made a little, the biggest changes they made so far. And then they went down to 2 voyages a week.
2 voyages. That was the big thing.
3 on like Thanksgiving and Christmas, but some big changes. So then while we were on vacation at Disney, they announced a DVC exclusive cruise. So that's happening in August. It's one of the cruises that was marked as like that they like later moved people off of. But it's only for DVC members, and it's being handled very differently than other cruises. So if Naomi's in here, she's organizing like a big group like cosplay cruise, but you don't have to be DVC. You don't have to have any kind of affiliation to sign up for this one. For DVC, you have to be part of DVC, and you had to basically like get in a queue and sign up for it. And if you made the cut, then they called you and asked for payment. But they're just like, Star Cruiser's line isn't handling it just yet. It's just being managed in a completely different way, but it's sold out like instantly. So that's a good sign.
Yeah.
It's a really good sign. But then yesterday we woke up to the news that there's annual pass discount.
You called it?
I did call it, but I mean, it wasn't that hard to call. Like that's typically the order of the discounts anyway. So,
but I think it's like it's a significant discount.
If we weren't going on a voyage in the middle of the window,
I think that the reason our voyage is not on that is because we have a pretty full voyage, I think.
It is so our voyage is near selling out at this point.
Yeah.
Like it is very, very, very near selling out. And I haven't really talked about that. I've been sitting on that for a while, but if you want to get on that voyage, you have to pay full price, unfortunately. Kitra's in here.
Hey.
We were talking about you hanging out with Tron Mini earlier. How jealous we are. But yeah, the May 3rd voyage is going to be huge, right? And I don't think they would have even discounted it even if it hadn't been close to selling out, because like that's the voyage for May the 4th.
Yeah.
But yeah, if we didn't already have that big one planned, I would have absolutely jumped on this chance, because 30% off is just massive.
Yeah.
Like I've been booking them since yesterday when it came out, and just when they tell me the total, I'm like, for 4 people? For 4 people. I'm like sitting there like doing the math. I'm like, well, could we do it like on a Friday and maybe but no, we're not going to take advantage of this one, but it means there will be more discounts in the future.
Yeah. So I think so now that's pretty much everybody now. I mean, it's going to be opening up to everybody now. Like where it's just like
I think we're going to have one more kind of exclusive offer before we open it up to, I have it in control, before Disney opens it up to like a broad, like what they call a broad offer, which anybody can book.
But I think it's still going to be at certain times. Like they're still going to do like these windows to see how well.
Oh, absolutely.
So.
And they're being very strategic about it too, because the times that they are releasing this one, although I'm very surprised that they did the AP window from mid-April to the end of June. I would have expected it to be more June through August, based off of like the trends that I've seen of when people are booking things.
I was interested. Yeah, that they went like that full summertime.
It's weird because the other thing is like, and I've asked about it, if you are an annual pass holder and you have something booked, so long as you're more than 30 days out and you're not in that like final payment penalty window, you could cancel and rebook and get that discount. I saw somebody that did it and they saved $2,000 on their voyage. $2,000. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
So I think here's my predictions for what's coming next. We've got the DVC discounts. We've had cast member discounts. We now have annual pass discounts. So the people that have kind of invested the most either time in the terms of cast members or money in the terms of DVC and APs, they're getting rewarded kind of, right? Because there's this whole issue with annual passes not being available to purchase unless you're buying like the cheapest one that's only available for Florida residents at the moment. But next is going to be Disney Visa card holders. It's just typically the way that it goes.
Yeah.
They'll get their discount, and then they may, and I really hope they don't do this because I should not say this, but I cannot stand these offers. They may do a Disney Plus offer, which are just so silly to me. Everybody has Disney Plus.
I mean, that's the way they synergize and get everybody.
That is the way they synergize.
If you cancel the Disney Plus, you're going to re-up it and say, you know what, let me take it for another year.
That's the thing, is that somebody said 30% is basically 50%. That was Brooke, I think, that said that. She was like, I'm trying to explain this to my husband. But in Disney Plus, I get why they're doing it, because if you do book, like when they have the Disney Plus offers for Disney World, somebody in that group has to have a Disney Plus account tied to their email that is tied to the same email as their My Disney. So they're trying to get people that are not sharing Disney Plus accounts. But yeah, it's just strange. See, but Tim, okay, here's the other thing that I've gotten this one a lot, is like people are wanting Star Cruiser discounts for Magic Key. I do not ever see that happening, because they don't do cross-country promotions like that. People that are affiliated with Disneyland never get deals at Disney World, and vice versa. It would be fantastic. We would absolutely visit Disneyland more if we got more deals.
So what if there was
there.
like a different pass of like both of them? So
there used to be.
Yeah.
And I forget what it was called. Kitra, if you're still in here, I think she can speak to it, because I think she had it before. But yeah, I don't ever foresee them doing Magic Key deals. I know, sorry.
The
Premier Pass, that's what it was. But yeah, I would love it. I would love a Premier Pass. But I don't see them doing the Magic Key ones.
And that's why East.
That's what I was saying last night. I was running around and I was like, everybody wants Magic Key discounts, but they can't get it unless you're an annual pass discount. That's why East is the better park. You're just shaking your head at me. I was delirious last night. I was on the phone with Star Cruiser until after their phone lines closed. Oh my gosh. It was intense, but we both had very busy days yesterday.
Yeah.
Like typically I work my day job from home, but there are times when I have to go into the office, and there's times where I have to go to these events, and I had to go into an event where I had to speak and I had to give the same presentation 4 times in a row. But I did that and then came home, and then I had a training. I do a monthly marketing training for all of the travel agents at our agency. And so I had that, and I didn't realize that they were both scheduled on the same day and that they were basically like back to back with each other. And so I was like, well, today's just going to be a long day. And then I woke up yesterday and they were like, AP discounts. And I was like, oh my God. I'm like, I have to get my post out about it, and I've got to get, people that are coming in are having to message them and get all of this stuff going. And I got it done. Yeah. I got a good amount of them booked yesterday. Had some more today. Lots of quotes to send out, but it all got done.
Yeah.
Look at us. An international.
Oh, I think.
Oh man. Mars is here. We were talking about costuming earlier. Mars is a good place. That corner in Coruscant is a good place to get greeblies and accessories. Yes, Doug was one of the ones that I booked recently. So you are booked. I don't have your emails yet to send them to you, but you are booked. I didn't want to call you out earlier, but now you're publicly saying it. But yeah, no, yesterday was just a long day. By the end of it, I was just like, I'm tired of talking. Can we just watch something on TV? And so we've been trying to watch The Last of Us. And I say trying because it's taken us a while.
Yeah.
we've been trying to wait until the season finished.
To just like watch it whenever.
And now we're just like terrible and we'll watch like half an episode at a time. I think the problem is that we don't, by the time we start something, it's so late and we're like going all the time until we get the kids down. And so then finally when we get the kids down, we're like, we're going to do all the things. And then we're like, oh, but it'd be nice to sit too. Like sitting is nice. So yeah, we've been trying to watch The Last of Us.
That's when we tend to like doom scroll. Yeah. Like instead of doing something, we just doom scroll. So
yeah. But we have been watching more TV lately. So we've been trying to watch The Last of Us. I think we're like 3 episodes. No, we're 4 episodes in now?
Yeah.
No, we're 3 episodes in.
We're on the 4th.
Yeah. We watched the 3rd episode that everybody
dang Mars
was crying about. But then we like completely switched gears because you were going to be working on your costume design. And we didn't even talk about your costumes, but we were going to be working on, or you were going to be working on your costumes. And I think I was just having a bad day. That was my
we were just putting something on just like to be some noise in the background. And it was White Lotus. And if you haven't seen it,
we had never seen it before.
Yeah, we'd never seen it, never heard of it.
Season 1.
And I had like halfway through the episode, we were both just watching the show, not doing what we were doing, like doing before.
You were designing your costume, and I was like furiously ordering on Amazon. That was the day that I had my meltdown about costumes, and I was like, I'm just gonna order everything. And then
Bad Batch has been amazing.
Yeah. Oh, you haven't watched any of the new Bad Batch? Like, you mean like today's new Bad Batch or like the whole season? I'm assuming you mean today's. Also, sorry, because I'm one of those people you're making things for. Yeah, no spoilers.
Yeah, no spoilers.
But it's good. It's good that we have 2 episodes of it because it didn't feel like 2 episodes. It went by really fast.
Oh, man.
You haven't seen the whole season. Oh, well, there you go. Now you just have the whole season to consume all at once. That's kind of the nice thing, too, is like we have been waiting until like we're watching shows way later. Yeah. No spoilers, though. Don't say good or bad. It's just there's a lot, okay? There's a lot to take in. But yeah, White Lotus. First of all, we don't know what is happening. We don't know who it's going to happen to. We don't know anything that's going on with the show. I think we're 3 episodes into that one also. And like, it's like a weird,
it doesn't get me like, oh, I need to watch the next episode.
Yeah.
But I want to watch the next episode.
Right.
It's a weird, type of situation.
Yeah, it's I don't know. Just like I want to go watch it again. I want to go watch another episode of it tonight, rather than watching The Mandalorian. And I think the difference is like with White Lotus, I don't care. I don't really care what's happening with it. I don't have to like worry about being spoiled about it by the internet and like everybody in my feed talking about things. Like it's just like a low stakes, low pressure show. And so you can put it on and if you miss something, you miss something. Whereas with Mandalorian or like Bad Batch, you have to like stay focused and you have to watch every single thing and look for the Easter eggs. And well, why did they say that? Oh, well, this was a callback to this over here. And it's just like, it feels like work sometimes. And
for you, maybe it just comes natural to me.
I don't know. White Lotus pays off. I hope so. It took us a little while and then we were like, wait, I think what we think is going to happen is not going to happen.
Yeah.
So that's fun. I like the mystery.
I think that's what it is because I am pretty good about calling a show or how things are going to end like pretty early on.
Calling it, ruining it for the rest of us that are watching it.
And like right now I can't figure out where they're going with things.
But that's the fun part is like,
and it's not like they're doing just like random changes. It's just that story's building on itself. So
right. It doesn't feel like something like a Glass Onion or Knives Out where it's like you think it's going this way and then it pivots and then it pivots. Like this is a very much like slow turns, it feels like. But it's cool. I like it. Where is it? White Lotus on HBO?
Yeah.
It's on HBO. But yeah, I'm enjoying that one. But we do need to watch Mandalorian. Man, what else were we watching? We were watching something else lately. I guess that was it. Just The Last of Us. I watched Shrinking.
Oh yeah, you were
That was
watching
the one that I watched because when I talk about you calling shows early, and you didn't ruin it, but you're always, it feels like you're not paying attention at all to the shows that I watch, and then you'll walk through and you'll be like, oh, so this is what happens? And I'm like, no, that's not, no. They've already said that's definitely not going to happen. And then you're like, okay. Case in point, How I Met Your Mother. You called that one like super early on. I was like, there's absolutely no way they have said this is not going to be the ending of no, that's not it. You're wrong, sir. And then you were right.
Yeah.
But that's why I started watching Shrinking, because one of my friends was like, hey,
Marshall's in it.
You miss Marshall, you should watch this. And Han Solo's in it too. And I'm like, that's perfect. Two of my favorite things. Oh man. That's the other thing is when it comes to like new Star Wars, I guess because we've like built these businesses and things around loving Star Wars so much, is like when new episodes come out, it's like, could I make that? Should I make that?
There's a lot of stuff that they've been putting.
And it's not even just like props too. It's like the yellow travel biscuits. Like I saw the yellow travel biscuits on somebody's feed like 2 days after the episode. And it's like, dang, man. On Andor, when they had like the weird Cocoa Puffs, with the blue milk.
I figured out what it came from.
Yeah. It's just like, it's cool. It's really, really cool. But sometimes it's nice to do things that are just like completely not Star Wars or Disney.
Yeah.
Foundation. Here's the thing. We just started getting like all of the subscription services. And I don't know why we've accumulated them like Infinity Stones lately.
So we had Peacock for about a month because we got Puss in Boots.
Well, we had it. We always buy it for a month for the Thanksgiving Day parade.
Yeah.
And then we cancel it. But yeah, we watched Puss in Boots, which was cute.
Yeah, it was pretty good. We enjoyed it. You know, kids had a good time. I enjoyed it. Like I had little go get 'em moments. So yeah, see, we need to watch.
Oh, that's the other one. That's the one I was thinking of. Is we haven't
started that.
We've watched up to this newest season. We haven't watched any of the new season. I think it was more us than the kids that were like.
But they sat and watched it.
They sat and watched it, and then we ended up watching Shrek and Shrek 2 over the weekend. So, but man, it is very different than a Disney movie, Shrek.
Oh yeah,
very different. But yeah, so we had Peacock. I don't think we still have Peacock.
All right, we'll try to watch some Foundation to have some kind of input.
Some K-drama. See, we're very weird about the shows that we watch now, though. Like, we don't really watch, like, the sitcoms. Mm-hmm. We don't watch reality TV unless it's, like, one of those really standout ones. Like, we watched Physical 100.
Oh, that one was good.
That one was really good. Weirdly, we watched that one about making chocolate. It was, like, the chocolate school or something. The School of Chocolate.
Yeah.
It was so random. But you put it on one day, and we're like, okay, let's talk about this. But yeah, why did we get HBO? We got it for like a specific movie or something we wanted to watch.
No, it's for Last of Us.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Again, it's one of those things that we get for a while because it was like either Game of Thrones or some movies on there.
Yeah.
For like a while, they were putting out a lot of the newer movies on there, so that's what we had gotten it for, and then now this time is Last of Us. And
now we have Hulu because we had Disney Plus we had gotten like that super sweet deal where we had Disney Plus for 3 years, and I had paid like, I don't know, $150 for it or something before it ever launched. They were like, if you sign up for 3 years. Yeah, that was the one. But they were like, if you sign up for 3 years, you pay like $150 or $180 for like 3 years. And I was like, sold. I agree, take my money. Well, that ended in like November. And so the deal was definitely not as sweet anymore. So now we're like, well, we'll just upgrade and get Hulu, and then I can watch How I Met Your Father. There was another show I was watching on there.
I'm finishing up Naruto, so.
Oh, that's why. You and your
Yeah.
Naruto. You say
My anime.
finishing up. You've been watching that show for like 11 years.
There's a lot of back and forth. The games.
School of Chocolate. I think that was what it was called. I don't really remember. That's the hard part is like Netflix, we don't watch all that much.
I think the kids watch it more.
Most. Yeah, more so. And funny enough, like their big thing that they're watching right now is Home Alone.
Same, Tim. I watched that's where I saw them first.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
Is that why? Oh. Very, very tailored chef's coat.
Yeah.
Incredibly tailored. I'm like, could we make that Star Wars? Speaking of tailored, this is incredibly not tailored, but we didn't even talk about like the stuff that we got from our trip. Like literally the most perfect spirit, like top or piece of clothing finally exists for me, which is a cropped Spirit jersey. I was wearing it today and like it's normally Spirit jerseys go down like, for me, they go down typically like right to my hips or a little below. Yeah. And this is just like a perfect crop, like perfectly cropped to my waist. I absolutely love it. As soon as I saw it, I was like, yeah,
I mean, the art on it
it's so beautiful. Awesome. It's like a French artist. Somebody sent it to me, or not sent it to me, but like shared who the artist was. But it's got all the women of Star Wars, women of the galaxy is what the collection's called.
Absolutely, Whisper. Absolutely. It's, it's made us super impatient for like anything. So.
Yeah. I know now when we do have to watch commercials on like Hulu, we're like, oh my gosh, it's terrible. We can't even skip through them anymore. That's all right though. We need to learn to be more bored.
I think if the ads were, I just remember when I was younger and they were just like all over the place and not always the exact same ones. It felt like there was more variety, because I think that's what gets annoying, where it's like the exact same ad. Yeah. And that you saw 4 or 5 times before.
That's true. But yeah, no, it was a good trip. It was a really good trip. I bought a ton of stuff. You didn't buy, I don't think, anything on our trip, did you?
No.
What we bought, but you got.
Yes.
Oh, what you got is the Magic Band.
Oh yeah.
That was all you got. But you didn't buy a single Spirit jersey either. I bought 2 Spirit jerseys.
I didn't find one that I wanted.
I know. They had one that was really bright that I think would have looked good on you, but it wasn't sticking out to you. And it's not like you're short of Spirit jerseys.
Keep making more.
Yeah.
Well, but see, I think that's where it's different. Like, I'm a big viewer of like YouTube, because it's like shorter content and it's more like continuing, even if it's like slightly different. Like if it's leatherworking, like I've watched 20 different, 40 different videos of making a wallet, but they're all like different in some way. Or like you're watching it for the person that they've got more character, or there's more they're quite, it's kind of ASMR type feel. It's like there's a flavor out there for everyone.
Right.
Whereas like if it was a show, it could be good, it could be bad, but you have to go over here, like to this pond. You have to go to this pond. You have to go to, like, going to different ponds is kind of annoying. It's still okay because you could get it for a little while, try some stuff out, and then cancel it. It's going to be really annoying if they ever go to lock you in for a certain period of time.
Like contracts?
Yeah.
Like cable?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I know, I think that's the beauty of it too. And like I've seen she's an influencer and she's like a home design influencer, but she always talks about like, this is the show. Like she has a blog and an Instagram, and I don't know that they do YouTube, but like basically the stuff that she's sharing and that she and her husband share on their platforms, that's the show. She doesn't need the HGTV or the DIY show, because then it becomes more produced and it's not they don't have like full control of it anymore. But when you have control over something, you get to make it your own, and then people, I feel like, connect with you more. And that's where it's nice on YouTube, is like you feel like you make connections with the people that you're watching.
Yeah.
Because it feels more personal. It's less produced, it's more personal.
Is it equal to enjoying a vinyl more than Spotify? So I think that is, it's very situational, right? Like if you're,
wait, where are you?
okay, you're up that whisper. Like listening to a vinyl, like it's something that you are, you're putting on, like you're there to enjoy that music, like whatever it is, like you're, having dinner or, hanging out, having a conversation. Whereas like when you're on the move, you're like, okay, I'm gonna get on a subway, get on a bus, on a car ride, you're flipping through things. And then if it's not, like your mind is moving, I think it's a time where your mind is moving a lot faster. So that's why you're just like clicking through, next one.
Yeah. But it's also like, it's nice to be lazy. Like if you turn the radio on, you're just like, all right, radio, play me music, versus like me having to go in and pick what song do I want to listen to. Half the time I just don't even turn it on because I'm like, I'm okay.
Hulu gives you time to check your Insta feed. Yeah.
Mars.
If you figure it out too, if like once an ad goes and instead of watching like the credits and there's like, you could skip ads, like if you're quick enough. Helpful.
Okay, Mars said they need to make more Magic Band Plus that don't have any of the known symbols. So, yes, I absolutely agree with you. And that's this one right here. That's the one that I think like everybody, do it on yours. Ooh, cover your face. That one. But while we were there, look at this one. Yes, it's a known symbol, but look how good, like that's a good puck.
Yeah.
We were surprised when we saw that one. We're like, we hadn't seen that one before. And so we're like, let's pick this one up because we can use that for something, for a prop, and it's less, sorry. Are we here? Oh, yeah. We're split now.
Yes and no. I think kids are more aware of that whisper and like of the consequences.
I don't know
to the future.
Well, I don't know if it's harder. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Like it is and it isn't.
Any harder because one, they don't know. They don't know what it was like when we grew up. But it's just different. And I think the hard part.
And oak props.
I think the hard part, especially that we're facing right now, is like we grew up in what feels like a completely different era than what our kids are growing up in. And so we're having to navigate like how do we shepherd them into this new way of life versus the way we grew up.
Yeah.
And like what our expectations were, which was basically like be outside all of the time. That is not Mars. The Women of the Galaxy one says Star Wars on the puck. Magic Band is basically like using the Force. I mean, pretty much.
I wish they would have more, like, kind of like waving type of things. Yeah.
Kind of like how they have at Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Where it's like, that would be cool.
Imagine being able to open a door.
Move rocks.
Yeah.
Oh, it'd be really cool to like move a door just. I mean, I guess you can. You don't need the Magic Band. Grant's headed to bed.
Yes.
Julie, the Women of the Galaxy line was so good. I bought most of it. It was just so good.
Yeah.
Like, it's all really good stuff. And it's all the women in one place.
I think that was where I was like, if you're going to get it because you won't be able to get it next time.
Yeah.
Those type of, because it's a series. It'll get cycled out.
Yeah. It's different times now. It's completely different times now that we live in.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's a good place to wrap it up. Are we going to try to watch Mando tonight? Are we going to try
maybe.
to hold for another night?
Maybe. I don't know.
White Lotus, who knows? Maybe we'll costume. Maybe we'll just crash and go to bed.
Not me. I'm busy. I'm a busy man.
All right. Well, I think that's a good place to wrap up for the evening. It's good to be back. It's good to be live again. It's been far too long, but let me see. Yeah, we'll have another one before, maybe 2. We'll have a couple more lives before the big Star Cruiser takeover. Thank you guys for hanging out with us, and we will see you next time.
See ya.